Hi everyone. Hello, hi. I'm so sorry guys. There was something wrong with my YouTube. I couldn't really log in properly. So sorry. Happy New Year guys. I'm so sorry that I came late because there was some technical issues. I am so sorry. But it's really nice to be back to see all of you guys here. How is your 2020 and how is your first day of 2021? I hope you guys are having the best time. I'm so sorry once again. I was having a lot of technical difficulties. I couldn't log on to my account. And as a result, I couldn't get onto the live in time. I'm so sorry. It won't ever happen again. Happy New Year to all of you. I'm finally back. It's really nice to see you guys here again. Please remember to thumbs up this video before we start on the whole Q&A session for you guys. I know a lot of you are preparing for the Kgsp, and I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding it. So please leave me any question here. If you have any questions about Kgsp, feel free to leave it here and I will start replying it in around like 5 minutes time so that we can wait for more people to come. Feel free to leave me any questions. You can ask me about Kgsp, you can ask me about staying in Korea, you can ask me about how my 2020 has been, or my first day of 2021. Feel free. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come in before we officially start the Q&A. Remember to thumbs up this video, and I hope you guys have watched my latest video about a day in my life as a Kgsp student. So leave your questions here. I hope you guys have watched the video. Let me know what are your thoughts about the latest video, a day in my life as a Kgsp student. I gave you guys a little sneak peek of how my day is like as a student. It's just online classes, but I figured maybe you guys would be interested to see how I've been doing my lessons during this pandemic. I hope you guys are safe and sound back at home. The pandemic situation is affecting every single one of us around the world. I hope you guys are being safe and hope you guys are healthy. So please feel free to leave your question or just update me, like how are you guys? What time is it back in India, for example? And tell me how is your day, or just leave me any questions that you have. And I'm going to start really soon. Let me just tell people on Instagram that I'm finally live because I think a lot of people wasn't like they didn't receive my message. So hang on, give me a while. Let me just type and tell them that I'm live. Kgsp Q&A. Over on my YouTube. Right. So hi, okay, so let me give 2 more minutes before we start on the whole Q&A session. It is so nice to be back, to be talking to you guys. I'm so sorry I didn't do much live because I was busy with school and then it was really hectic, and it's really nice to be back. I promise a lot of Kgsp related content is coming. I'm going to be doing a whole series. I'm going to be interviewing my friends who have done Kgsp as well. I have friends from like the UK, I have friends from Mongol, I have my friends from Japan, Singapore, so many countries. I even have friends from Brunei, Indonesia. So I'm going to like interview all of them. and let them share their Kgsp experience with you guys. And at the same time, I'm going to be talking about different topics that you guys might be interested. Like, for example, I'm going to be talking about allowance, is it enough? I'm going to be talking about housing. How do you get housing? I'm also going to be talking about surviving here in Korea tips, and I'm going to talk about some might be controversial topics like discrimination. So remember to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not, and remember to give this Q&A a thumbs up. It is thumbs up, everyone. So it's 10:05 now. Let me begin. So let's start. First and foremost, Happy New Year, guys. I hope 2021 will be a much greater year for every one of us here. And I pray that all of you who are trying for Kgsp get selected. So let's begin, shall we? So first, I have a question from Perna. It says, how long is the process of embassy track? So for me, I went through I was applying for the graduate scholarship, which means I applied in, I think, the first week of March, and everything was confirmed around July. So March, May, June, July, maybe around 3 to 4 months, because the embassy has to go through a lot of documents. So they would have to look through every single person's details, like their awards, is this person suitable, and then they will go through screening, and then afterwards they will do like interview process. So everyone goes for the interview, and then they will like mark who they want for and select the final 3 candidates. So it was around 3 to 4 months. I'm not sure about other embassies, but for the Singapore's embassy, we took around, I think, 3 to 4 months. And I hope that answers the question, Perna. So next question is by Saptarna Ghosh. If I apply Kgsp with the embassy track, then will I be able to apply other scholarships provided by the university? Yes. In terms of, if you are looking at Kgsp, which is the Korean Government Scholarship Program, they have this regulation saying that if you are applying via the embassy track, you are not allowed to apply for the same Kgsp via the university track. So you can apply for like the university scholarship itself, as long as it is not Kgsp, you are fine. But if you're saying like you want to apply Kgsp to both the embassy and the university track, that is not allowed. So I hope that answers this question. So moving on, let's move on to Sweeta Singh, who asked, what all streams can we choose to study in Korea? If you look at the documents that come with the application forms for Kgsp, they would show you a whole stack of courses and the number of schools that you can apply for. So when you are looking at that, remember to go and make sure that you are looking through every single course, because not every course is available. I know some courses are not, and some courses like maybe the engineering, not every single specific area of engineering is given in a university. But usually like the typical humanities like Korean language and literature, it is usually provided in most universities and for Kgsp. And as for, I think maybe if you're talking about engineering, like the typical ones, like mechanical engineering, they do have it. But I can't like guarantee that every single university has that. Okay, so moving on. Aryan Rana says, hello and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's really nice to be back. Next, Laiba Ansari asks, is this necessary to have topic? So I've mentioned this in my previous Q&A and certain, I think, questions on my YouTube channel. By having a topic certification, it gives you a leverage, like an advantage over others who don't have topic. And I think in the application guidelines, they actually mention that if you have topic level, regardless, like 3, 4, 5, 6, they would give you, I think, like extra points towards your evaluation, which is important because it might give you an edge over those who do not have a topic. So I would recommend you to have a topic certification so that you can have more advantage compared to others. Yes. So I hope that answers the question, Laiba. So moving on, we have from Yuan Tao Le Gian. Can you recommend me some good universities for the major business administration, specializing in organizational behavior and human resource major in the master's program? First and foremost, although I'm not a business major student, I would say if you're looking at business majors, obviously in Seoul, the 3SKY, it is obviously really good university here in Seoul, and they are very recognized. So if you're hoping to go into a good university for business administration, then obviously I would recommend Seoul National University, Yonsei University, and of course Korea University, or other universities like Kyunghee, Sungkyunkwan, Hongdae. They have quite a lot of different courses as well. I'm not sure if they have the specialization that you're talking about, like organizational behavior and human resource major, because I'm not from there. But if you are curious, you can always check them out on the school's website. So the school's website will always have like the different courses available, which is they will usually have like the courses, the professors. So always go and check them out. So I hope that answers the question. So moving on, Saptana say thanks, you're welcome, it's my pleasure. Supernova asks, are they biased in the health science majors for undergrad? I'm not sure what you mean with Supernova. Do you mind like elaborating more on your question? What do you mean by biased, as in like towards health science major, as in they favor health science majors more, or yeah, can you just explain more so that I'm trying to get like the whole context of your questions? Okay. So leave it down. I will answer it again. Next, we have from N.A. Medicine and pharmacy unavailable as far as I checked. Okay, so thank you for checking. So I think medicine, pharmacy, like the more specialized in terms of like doctors, dentists, might not be available. But I do know that psychology is available in most universities because I have a friend who got into psychology. Yes. So Perna asked, do we have to apply for the university a year prior than our planned study in Korea? It really depends. So for me, I was supposed to graduate in August. So I was supposed to graduate in August, and then before graduating, the application starts in around March. So I knew that the final announcement, whether you are selected or not, would be around like late July. So that was why I chose to apply then. But it really depends on when you graduate. So for example, if there are a few people who graduate maybe late before the school starts in Korea, basically. So if you're talking about undergraduate, in Korea, undergraduate, the Kgsp starts in March, which means your school, you have to graduate by March. So if you do not graduate by March, I would recommend you to apply after you have received your graduation certificate so that it is less complicated. Yeah, so because you really have to kind of look at the time interval to see whether you'll be able to make it for the school, like the starting of the school. So I hope that answers your question, Perna. Seema Rai says, how to contact university and professor in university track, where exactly they provide mail ID on the column. So for SNU, I can only say from Seoul National University because I'm from Seoul National University, right? So in Seoul National University, they have a school website that will say like faculty members, and then they will have a whole list of professors, and you can just look at their emails, copy paste it, and then email them. The only way to contact a university is definitely through email. So I would recommend you to email the professors and the International Affairs Office. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, we have 22 of you guys now. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up. It is very important to me. Please click on that thumbs up button right now, friends. It means a lot. It means the whole world to me. So please remember to give this a thumbs up now. Click it, click it, click it. Yay, it's going up. Please remember to click on the thumbs up button so that I know that you guys like all of these Q&A, and I'll do more Q&A session with you guys. So please remember to give this a thumbs up. Okay, so moving on, how can I make myself for Kgsp after my UG for applying PG scholarship? postgraduate scholarship. What do you mean by how can I make myself a Kgsp? Can you explain further, Satap Parna? Supernova, not medicine or pharmacy, just other health science majors. Are you saying that, like, what was the question? Are you trying to ask whether they tend to accept more students from health science majors? Is that what you're asking, Supernova? Please let me know. For another question from N.A, if we do have topic, can we still take the language course if we feel we need it? Yes, of course, but that is only if you have until topic 4. If I'm not wrong, topic 5 and 6, you would have to start your master's straight away. So I have a friend who got topic level 4, but she still chose to go through with the language course. So I think topic level 5, level 6, you are not eligible for the language course. I'm not really sure. You would have to check with the Korean embassy. If you feel that you need it, obviously I would recommend you to go for it. Maybe you can ask the embassy and see what is the maximum grade that you can get if you want to take the language course. I hope that answers your question, NA. Aryan Rana says, if we have qualified all the stages undergrad, then when do we have to arrive in Korea? You will usually have to arrive in Korea by March. Usually school starts around 1st of March. So I think you will reach on the last week of February for you to start school in time. So for undergraduate, you usually reach around the last week of February, and for graduate students, you will reach last week of August. Yes. Moving on, as in India, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Arya Rana. So for you, if you are completing your school in India in mid-May, that would mean that you would miss the undergraduate admission. So you can only apply the next following year after you graduate. Yes. Deborah Depaza, hi. I think you're new. What are some part-time jobs you would advise for international students? Okay, this is very tricky. For Kgsp students in Korea, if you're talking about Kgsp students, part-time jobs can be very tricky because technically it is not allowed. You are supposed to fill up forms and get them authorized by the government to kind of acknowledge that you are earning money. But usually for Kgsp, if you're working, they would ask you to work in the field where you're studying. So it has to be related to what you're studying. I have friends who are doing it illegally. Like, it is not like, yeah, you know. So it is really tricky. I have people who are working as like maybe tuition teachers, or I have friends who eventually went through with the whole administration process to do certain jobs. But usually if you're talking about jobs like related to the school, so in universities, you will have like job openings like research assistant or like the professor's assistant, then these jobs are obviously allowed because it is related to kind of what you're studying as a student. So that is some of the part-time job that I would say international students can do. So I hope that answers the question, Deborah. Someone says, thank you, no problem. Versha says, I have one question. How to submit my document offline or online? Actually, from what I know, documents can only be submitted offline, which means you can either send it via postage to the Korean embassy, or you go down to the Korean embassy yourself to pass them the documents. I hope that answers your question. ML Water 20 says, can you give some advices on how to write our study plan? I have CGPA 3.94, but I still didn't manage to pass the first round of MC track. I actually have a whole series of how to write your study plan. Let me just find the link and maybe you're new here. I have a whole series of Kgsp step-by-step, how to write and how to make sure you secure yourself a spot. So let me find it for you. So here you go. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and of course, please like this video, everyone. This is the video. Please go and check it out. This video is, I just posted it below. This is the one that I shared how I wrote my study plan and every single document that you will need. So go check that out. ML Water, I hope that helps. Moving on, next. Oh, wait, where am I? Okay, so another question by N.A. Can the holder of the scholarship do a double major minor if the university offers it? I'm not really sure about this because none of my friends around me are doing a double major or minor. From what I know, they are only doing one. So I assume that usually KGSP scholars can only do one major. But it might be different for other universities. So it would be better to check with your embassy first or drop your university an email. So, yep. I hope that answers the question. Bella S says, can you recommend me a few universities having education as major? What kind of education are you talking about? So I have friends who are doing like teaching Korean language as a foreign language to foreigners. So SNU, Seoul National University, there is this major. A lot of my friends are there. You have Korea University as well. You have Yonsei University as well. So basically, if you're talking about like the good recognized universities, obviously it's SKY. Or if you are looking at education, there is this university called Kyode, which is like a university meant for teachers. So if that's the education you're talking about, then that might be what you would like to go into. So I hope that answers the question, Bella. How to write a study plan. So Vasha, I have left the document, the link at the bottom. So go check that out. That is a very important video. I shared all the tips that you will need. Go and watch from the beginning to the end. Give that a thumbs up because that is a really detailed one. I explained how I wrote mine. And if you follow like how I stated it, I'm sure you guys would do great. So moving on. And it says, thank you, no problem. Thank you for clicking the thumbs up, Bella. Yuan Tao says, in the application form, we have to write a degree thesis title when we were in uni, but I didn't do that. May I just leave it blank? Yes. So if you did not do a thesis in your undergraduate, then you would not have to write your title. If the embassy asks you, just tell them that you didn't do a thesis. I hope that helps. Perna asked, does Seoul National University have any subjects related to arts? What kind of arts are you talking about? Are you talking about humanities? Are you talking about visual arts? What kind of arts are you talking about, Perna? Because SNU does have a lot of like humanities. They also have like music. They also have like the visual like arts. They also have liberal arts. A lot of the universities have all different kind of like majors. So yeah, I hope that helps. Saptaparna says, how can I prepare all of the documents? From where can I get the announcement about KGSP? So Saptaparna, I also have another episode of my KGSP sharing about how do you apply for KGSP, what documents you need, step by step. Let me share it with you. This is the one. I just pasted it for you. Go click that, check it out. Because I went through very in-depth what you need to prepare. Do you need to photocopy it? Do you need to notarize it? So go check that out. So moving on, Deborah says, thank you so much. Subscribe and looking forward to more live videos of you. Thank you. A lot of KGSP live is coming up. A lot of KGSP content is coming up. So stay tuned, everyone. For live updates, I would usually update them on my Instagram. So please go and follow my Instagram because every time if I'm doing a live, I'll post it on my story. I'll also share with you guys my daily life if you're interested in how I study in Korean for my major. Okay, so moving on. And they say, so when they say that you have to submit the original document, what exactly do they mean? Sorry, I asked a lot of questions. It's totally fine. I love questions. I'm here to help. Feel free to shoot any of your questions. So original document means that you are okay to let them have that document. You do not need to like keep it. But obviously you will need to keep your graduation certificate, which is why I say that it is important for you to photocopy it and then get them notarized by a notary public. Yep. So original documents, I would recommend you to not hand in your original documents because you never know when you will need it again. I have had cases where people come to me telling me that they submitted their graduation certificate to them and they are not sure how they can get it back. So it is really complicated. So always check. Usually, I don't remember submitting any original documents. All I did was to photocopy, and maybe for transcripts, because I can request from my university to give me like as many transcripts as I want. So that is maybe the only original document that I gave them. So I hope that helps. Gurmit Singh says, I'm going to graduate a bachelor's in engineering and I want to do a master's in business. Can I apply for SNU with Kgsp? Of course. Of course. SNU has a lot of business majors as well. But if you're talking about, if you're hoping to enter the International Graduate School of International Studies, which is mostly English courses, then I don't think there's a business course. They have a business course in like the 일반 대학원, which is like the normal 대학원. But from what I know, a lot of the courses are done in Korean there. So I hope that helps. Hashin Kerr asks, hey, how is Korea for psychology? Is it good for me to do my bachelor's from Korea as an international student? Psychology, from my experience and from a lot of my Korean friends, they do not recommend people to take psychology because in Korea, it is not a major that would get you a job very easily. Because by getting a degree in Korea, you are only recognized in Korea technically. So if you're hoping to practice psychology in the future, I would recommend you to take scholarships from like Australia, the UK, the US, because they are definitely more recognized. So, but if you're talking about Korea, if you're hoping to work in Korea, then of course, it would be of some help to have a degree in Korea. But if not, I would encourage you to think about other majors as well. I hope that helps. Perna says, I want to know about humanities. What do you want to know? Feel free to write it down. Let me know. Humanities, there is a lot. I'm under the humanities department, I think, because I'm in international studies. Cho Ryujin asks, hi Joe, just joined the live. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. Please remember to thumbs up this video. Thumbs up is very important. Subscribe to my channel for more. First question, for our own statement of purpose, did you mention one professor for each university you applied to via embassy training? Statement of purpose. I didn't mention like the professor for each university. I just mentioned like, oh, I am interested maybe in SNU because they have a few professors that are doing what I hope to research in. But I definitely did my research further, and during my interview, which I did another video on that, you can go and see on my channel. When I was doing my interview, I specifically mentioned this particular professor from SNU that I really want to work with. So that helps because it shows that you have done your research, you are really determined that you want this scholarship. So if you're hoping to write it in your statement of purpose, go ahead, because I think it will be of some help, because it definitely helps you to have a better statement of purpose compared to others, I believe. So I hope that helps, Ryujin. So next, Afrin Fatima. Can we send with documents our participant certificates for various activities? Yes, so I did too as well, but I just photocopied them. I didn't give them my originals because I knew I would need them in the future again. So give them photocopies. You do not need to notarize them because it is just for that reference. It is only like your graduation certificates, your transcripts that need the notarization. So I hope that helps, Afrin. Moving on, Niha. I have a lot of you guys who are new. It's so nice to see you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of very exciting content and coming up soon. Can we, if we apply for Masters in Science, Biology, any major, we have also more than 80% marks, plus if we have experience. So is it beneficial at the interview so that we can? I don't really understand your question, but obviously if you have high marks, obviously that is beneficial. If you experience, of course, that is beneficial as well. Because I'm sure what they are looking for is someone who is very all-rounder. As I mentioned in one of my Kgsp series video as well, go watch that. All-rounder is something that they would like to have as well, not just studies. So obviously it is good to have some experience. Yes, moving on. Suban says, hi, I am applying for Kgsp PhD program. Wow, next year, but my percentage is not 85% because not even the topper in my class has this high percentage in grad and postgrad. But I've published an article. Go ahead, go and apply, because I'm sure like the 85% is just meant to give like a rough guideline. So in that year, if a lot of people do not have that percentage, obviously they will look for the next few people who are the nearest to the 85%. So don't just give up because you don't have the 85%. It is what's more is that you have published an article. That is a plus because you are contributing to the research field. Just write down whatever you have and just try it out, submit it, because I would say that they are not that strict about the percentage thing. So give it a go. I hope that answers your question, Suman. So next, moving on, Sataparna, if my completing graduation from a government scholarship. What is a completing graduation? I'm sorry, but I've never seen that word before. Could you explain more, Sataparna? Yes, leave it down. So Suwan says, so are they going to reject my application? I don't think they're going to reject application, as I said. So just try and submit it, and then hopefully they'll give you an answer. Thanks a lot. ML Water says, do you have any friends who has this disability who got this scholarship? Is this now? What kind of disability are you talking about? I don't think I have any friends with any disability. If it is a serious disability that require maybe someone to be taking care of you, then you may have to check with your Korean embassy. But if it's not like a major disability, then maybe I don't think that would be an obstacle. But always check with the embassy because they are the ones who know the most. I can only give you my advice is to check with the Korean embassy. So I hope that answers your question. Suman says, yeah. So I answered that as well. Yen Tao says, for the LWA, like a letter of recommendation, do we need to put it in an official envelope or just a normal one? Or do we need to stamp it or just sign it? If you read the guidelines, I actually went through it in a previous video as well. You need to have a document. The documents must be in an envelope, sealed, and then stamped with the school official stamp. Yes, I hope that answers your question. Moving on, NA asks, how is chemistry there for job finding, and for this degree is it being recognized? For Korea, I would say that chemistry, engineering are majors that are very recognized because Samsung, LG, they are doing a lot of electronics, and obviously they will need more talents. So I would say that this degree is being rather recognized, but obviously I'm not sure how much chemistry is being recognized here because obviously number one is engineering. It is no doubt engineering here in Korea. So chemistry, you definitely have like labs, pharmaceutical companies that would need you as well. So obviously you'll be able to find a job here if you have a chemistry degree. So Perna says, thanks a lot for this live. Loads of love from India. Thank you. I am back finally. So thank you for waiting for me. A lot of live is going to come soon. So remember to follow me on my Instagram, JokoPie. And also please remember to like, subscribe, thumbs up, because a lot of good content is coming soon. Hashin says, thank you so much. I have no idea. And are scholarships like Kgsp available for other countries as well? You're welcome. Kgsp is a Korean government scholarship program, but I do know that Japan has a similar scholarship to Korea as well. So you can go check that out. And from what I know, they have really good benefits as well. They have good allowance. It's like Kgsp. So if you're looking to study in Japan, that is also beneficial as well. So moving on, Anjita says, there are so many of you who are new. I've never seen you guys. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm currently pursuing bachelor's degree and I have only mark sheet of 6 semester. Do I need CGPA from 1 to 6? I submitted from 1 to 6 and I think they would need 1 to 6. So you have to submit the transcript that says from semester 1 to semester 6. So I hope that answers the question. Moving on, Suman says, do I have to notarize the thesis, research thesis, extract, paper, seminar, publication? I don't think you need to notarize them, but you would need to check with your Korean embassy to double check. From what I know, notarization is for your graduation certificate, your transcripts, because they are worried that your grades might be fake. So yes, but remember to check with the Korean embassy. So moving on, is it necessary to know Korean before we go to Korea? Will the embassy reject me? If you are familiar with the Kgsp program, you would know that there is a 1-year compulsory language program for those who can't speak Korean. So if you are worried that you can't speak Korean, you would have to go through that 1 year. So if you are going to be studying really, really hard during that 1 year, I'm sure all of you would be able to speak good Korean. So don't let that hinder you from applying Kgsp. Just go and apply, and I'm sure you guys will have some good news. So moving on, Eugene says, thank you for your answer. It helps. You're welcome. Next question. In your opinion, how much of an advantage would topic 5-6 give over other applicants? I'm from SG, by the way. Hi, my fellow Singaporean. Because you have a Korean name, I'm like, oh, I thought you were Korean. Are you the one who like Instagram DM'd me? Hi, from Korea. I'm from Singapore as well. I miss Singapore. I was supposed to go back, but because of the pandemic, I can't. So, topic 5-6, I would say, gives you a lot of advantage. From my batch, 3 of us were selected from Singapore. So 2 of us were topic level 6. And one of my friend was topic level 3. But he was so smart. He was from, like, we were all from NTU. So he was also a scholarship recipient of the Lee Hsien Loong award. So obviously you can tell that he's of a very different league. So even without topic level 5-6, he was able to get the scholarship. But I would say that topic level 5 and 6 would be of a very big advantage, definitely. And I would also recommend you to go sign up for the Korean speech contest that is held by the Singapore Korean Embassy and the Korean International School, because that is what I did. And my other friend, out of 3 of us, the other girl she also won the 1st place in the Korean speech contest. I won 3rd place. And I have another friend who I told her to participate in the speech contest the following year because she was preparing for Kgsp as well. She got 1st place and she also got the Kgsp. So I recommend all of you to go and participate in all of the activities that is held by the Korean Embassy. Build a connection with them. Show them that you're really interested in the Korean culture, and I'm sure you guys will stand a much greater chance of getting Kgsp. I hope that helps, Eugene. I hope to see you here in Korea. Let's have a meal. I'll bring you around. Suman says, thank you, Jokopai. Happy New Year. You're welcome. Happy New Year. Trina says, hi, ma'am. How is Korea for natural science? There's a lot of schools that provide this major. And obviously, science is an industry that Korea is trying to venture more in now. So obviously, it is pretty good, and I will recommend it as well. Chingmei says, hi, how is Korea for chemical engineering? Engineering, no doubt. Korea is a big industry for engineering. So if you're worried about jobs, you don't have to worry, because jobs are like, you have Samsung, you have LG, you have different like Hyundai. There are so many opportunities that you'll be able to do with engineering. So yes. Afrina, do they ask for passport? Yes. When you submit your documents, you will have to submit your passport photocopies, your parents' photocopies as well, I think. If you do not submit your birth certificate. Excuse me. So yep. I hope that answers your question. Hang on, guys. Let me drink some water. I'm getting a bit thirsty. So Saptam Parma asks, if I complete my graduation from a government sponsor college. Yes, of course, you're still able to apply for Kgsp. It doesn't matter. Moving on. ML Water 20 says, during this pandemic now, do you think study in Korea is way more tough? How much it affects our life? Good question. So for those of you who are new, like my other subscribers would know, I've been in Korea since 2019 September. So my first, as I mentioned in my latest video, the video about a day in my life as a Kgsp student, I mentioned that I have had 2 semesters online, which is really sad because it's like a cyber university. So I had one semester that was in school. Thank God. Yeah, thank goodness. If not, I would die, because 3 semesters at home is a bit intense. I think the most that is affecting me is not being able to go home. I've not been back for around a year, and that is meh, because I do miss my family a lot, and there were a lot of ups and downs, and it's different because you're away from family, you're away from home, you miss home, you cry at night. um, but it makes you a lot more independent, it makes you a lot stronger, um, and it gives you a different perspective of life. And I would say that I definitely matured a lot, and I definitely grew. I'm way more independent. And obviously, studying in Korea is tough for me because I'm doing a degree that is in Korean. And although I speak fluent Korean, writing, reading is very difficult because I've never really learned it properly. I only did when I was in university, like as an elective program. So I'm super bad compared to friends who majored in Korean language during their undergraduate years. That was not me. So obviously I struggled, and I'm still struggling, but that is what I signed up for. You have to know that studying in Korea, it is not a bed of roses. Like a lot of people now, because of K-pop, K-drama, they want to come to Korea. That was me when I was 9. And I was like, I want to move to Korea, oppas here, and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people don't tell you the reality of this whole studying, coming and staying in Korea. So this is why I decided to make my channel to share with you guys. There's actually a lot of harsh reality studying, like living in Korea, that not just in Korea, every other country you're going to face with such realities. So you just have to be ready for it. And it also, you will definitely be thrown into a lot of difficulties, but you just have to hang in there. Look at me, I'm like graduating in a semester time. I hope I can graduate. Please pray for me. So yes, I hope that answers the question. Next, Vigna Prita. Hi! Oh my god, I have not seen you in a while. I missed you. Were you very busy? Yes, I was really busy with school. A lot of work to be done. I have to prepare my thesis, the proposal writing, everything. I lost a lot of it. Really, I hope I do lose it because I've been gaining a lot of weight by sitting at home. Oh, the pandemic. Oh my goodness. Stay healthy, everyone. Love from Indonesia. Thank you. I hope you guys have checked out my latest video. Remember to thumbs up this video and the latest video because it is a day in my life as a Kgsp student, which you guys would definitely be interested to see. And of course, I brought you guys to see my stray cat family. They are really, really cute. If you guys like cat, go and check them out. Moving on, in 2020, from Suman, the topic exam was cancelled in India. Therefore, I have recently finished 2 online Korean language courses by Yonsei to prove my Korean proficiency. This is very important. You would have to ask your Korean embassy because by rule, by law, the topic exam is the only one that they recognize. But judging by the pandemic situation, I'm sure they are able to give you more leeway in terms of your Korean proficiency. So for me, when I took my topic exam, my grades weren't out yet when I applied. So I just had to submit the grade when it came out by July. So yes, check with your embassy. Moving on, Perna says, how can we manage in Korea if we do not know Korean until we will be going through the language course? Yes, obviously, if you do not know Korean, you will have to spend a whole year doing the Korean language course. This is compulsory. And I'm sure you guys will need to put in a lot of effort for Korean because unless you're going to an international school like GSIS, most courses will be in Korean. So you would need to have a good grasp of Korean to be able to survive. I hope that answers your question. Gurmit Singh says, Madam, do you think if a person have a patent and get a placement before completing his or her undergraduate degree and mentioning them in application will be a plus point? Of course. Anything that you think will be useful in terms of like published papers, articles, patent, job experiences, awards, write them down. I wrote all of them. I was very afraid to lose kiasu in Singaporean terms. yeah, I wrote down every single thing I could think of. I wrote down my awards from like primary school, secondary school, my job experiences from 6 years ago. I just wrote down everything I could because I didn't want to risk it. It's always better to be safe than sorry, and it's always better to write more. And I apologize if you can hear like washing machine sound at the back because my washing machine is like going on. So yeah. Moving on, Trina says, ma'am, what is give me advantage, embassy track or university track? So I explained this in my previous Q&A session as well because some of you guys asked me as well. I would always say that it is very tricky because some countries do not have the embassy track. So you will have to check whether your country provides the embassy track. If your country does not have the embassy track, then you obviously have to apply via the university track. And I chose embassy track because I felt that it was more simple in the sense that I can submit my documents without worrying of like them being lost during post stage to Korea. If that gets lost, I'll be very annoyed because I wasn't even able to get a chance at it. You get what I mean? But but at the same time, embassy track can be more competitive because in my year there were like 40 to 50 applicants and only 3 got selected. So that might be a down to embassy track. So you have to weigh your options to see which one you think is better for you. So I hope that answers the question. Afrin asked, what can we use for parent citizenship proof? I use passport copies. I gave them whatever I had. So I printed a birth certificate. And I think you're supposed to notarize it. But I just gave them passport copies as well. I just gave them everything I had. Yes. Moving on, Perna says, can we do a part-time job as a student in Korea without permission as a Kgsp student? No. That is, I don't really want to say this from my mouth because I don't want to get any of the people around me in trouble. But if you want to be a teacher, then you would have to get permission. Because without any permission, it is illegal. And if they find it out that you are doing it illegally, your Kgsp scholarship might be revoked. So it is a big risk. So if you're going to be doing jobs, I will always highly recommend you to give like some proof. But at the same time, do you really have time to do a part-time job? I also wanted to do like a job, but I was like, it's too difficult because there's a lot to do when you are studying here in Korea. So Regine says, hi, someone will DM you. Hi, I'm so sorry. Topic 5 being event is great news. Any idea when the speech contest is usually held? Also, was there a second health checkup when you reach Korea? So from what I know, the speech contest was held in October, I think. You have to check the Korean International School for Teachers because they will always have like what is called announcement for it, and go sign up for it because I'm sure you'll be able to get a good like, because the first prize also allows you to do like language course or something like that. So go there, meet like the embassy people, and it's always good to have it in the application form. There was a second health checkup for me in SNU. It is school based. So for me, it was like in school. I remember in the first week, I think, of orientation, and then we just did the whole like blood testing and stuff like that in school. So yes, Mohit Yogi says, hi, are you single? Hi, Mohit Yogi. I'm sure you are not a subscriber because if you are a subscriber, you would know that I have a boyfriend. Yes, please subscribe to my channel. Please thumbs up too. Dashini asks, ma'am, can I apply for global MBA in Korea while still studying in MBA in my home country? I will finish my MBA in April this year. So can I apply in March? Are you talking about graduate study? Like if you're talking about master's, of course you are able to apply because you will graduate by April. So you'll be able to go and come to Korea in September. So yes, you can apply. So moving on, Suman asks, I've worked as a guest teacher in central government school in my country for 2 years. Does it count in application? Because it's not a part-time. Of course, I wrote down every single part-time job that I had, like Muji, lifeguard, every single thing. Every single thing that I felt would be of help, I just wrote them in. So if you feel that it will be of some use, just throw them in because you never know if it's going to be useful or not. So just write down whatever you have. Don't think too much about it. If you have it, write it, because obviously they will be the ones who will be sorting and saving through all your information. So don't worry. So yep. Perna says, can you send me the link of Kgsp undergraduate application form? I can send it to you now because it is not out yet. The undergraduate has already passed. You have to wait for this coming September for undergraduate, because the undergraduate has already been closed. I've received a few messages from my subscribers saying that they got in and they thanked me for it. It is really, I was really happy. So I have a few subscribers who have already gotten into the undergrad. So if you want to apply for the undergrad, I would recommend you to check your Korean embassy or studyinkorea.com. Let me write it down for you. Studyinkorea.com has a lot of announcements, so you always have to check it there. Check it around August, September, because that is when the whole guidelines is going to appear. So yes, Gurmit says, Madam, doing a master's in business from Korea is a good idea. There are a lot of universities which provide full course in English. Obviously, if they are providing the course in English, is good, because I wouldn't recommend doing it like a course in Korean. That is me, because I'm suffering right now. So if you're hoping to work in Korea in the future, having a master's in Korea is good. But if you're hoping to do a master's in if you're hoping to work in another country, then maybe you have to see whether this business major degree is it recognized in that country as well. So there are a few things that you have to consider. So Niha says, what about the molecular biology study in Korea? Oh, I've never heard of this major, but there are a lot of schools that do have biology degrees, like obviously SKY, Kyunghee, Hongdae, what else? There's a lot of universities that have that actually, Niha. Go check them out. Darshini says, yes, ma'am, asking about masters. I want to apply for March this year. Yes, you can apply for March if you're going to graduate by September. So Suman says, how to know if a Korean university allowed to write PhD thesis in English in the particle? You will have to email your school about it, because for me, I have to write my thesis in Korean because it's a regulation by the school. So you would have to email the international office to check before you submit it, because yes, it is really tiring if you are going to be writing a thesis in Korean. Yes. So moving on, Prana says, thank you. You're so helpful. Please visit when you're out. I would love to visit India. Trust me. I love Indian food. Because I come from Singapore, we have a lot of Indian food as well. I miss my naan. I miss my prata. I miss my curry, my butter chicken. And in Korea, there's not a lot of very authentic ones. They are just very fusionish. So, ML Water says, in your opinion, can we choose a major different from bachelor's degree? Yes, of course, you can choose a major that's different, because for me, my major in bachelor's was nothing related to Korean studies. Mine was in linguistics and multilingual studies, which is obviously zero link to my current major, which is Korean studies. So you don't have to worry about that. Moving on, Gimit says, thank you. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Trina says, Busan National University, is it good for international students? I have a friend who is in Busan National University. I'm not sure what you mean by good for international students. I would say it's going to be tough, because in Busan, they have a very, very strong saturi, which is an accent that even Koreans find it hard to understand. Me being fluent in Korean, I can understand them, but it sometimes get way too quick. And I'm just like, that's my face 90% of the time. So if you are not fluent in Korean, I would say Busan National University would be difficult to understand. And I also would say that the people in Busan generally tends to be more conservative, because that area of the country is generally more conservative towards foreigners. So if you are worried about that, I will always just recommend you to come to Seoul. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Andrea says, hello, hello. What are the chances to get the scholarship if I want to study international relations? High chances, because I have a lot of friends who are doing international relations as well in my school, GSIS. I'm under the international studies department as well. So go and try and apply for the scholarship, because if you have a good research, if you have a good statement, I'm sure they'll take you in. Next, Dashni says, thank you, you're welcome. Carl, just having topic scores an advantage. Hi, Carl. Carl, I explained it earlier in the earlier part of the live. Go and check that out. Summary, it does give you an advantage. Yes. Moving on, is it easy to make Korean friends? How about your experience? This is tricky. So if you're new, or if you have watched my previous video, you know that I can speak Korean. And I speak pretty fluent Korean, I would say, pretty native. And I don't have any problems communicating with Koreans personally, I think. That might be my thinking, but yeah. So far, I have a lot of Korean friends who have been really nice in terms of accepting me as a foreigner. But that is also because I think I speak fluent Korean. So I have a lot of friends whom I've met through rock climbing. I mean, I obviously don't look Korean, okay? I obviously look like an Asian. And they tend to be more apprehensive when they look at me and they are like, I don't think she is Korean. But when I open my mouth and I go, 안녕하세요, and I speak Korean to them, they're like, you speak Korean? And their eyes light up, because some of them struggle to communicate in English because not all Koreans can speak fluent English. So they can feel like a bit apprehensive when it comes to foreigners. And that is something that you have to realize when you're here. It is always better to speak Korean, but if you can't, try to speak in slow English. So I've met a lot of really nice Korean friends, and I don't think you have to feel afraid. Obviously, it's not easy. You just have to put yourself out there, because that is a part of us international students in like a foreign country. You just have to put yourself out there, be friendly, talk to them. Obviously, they'll be like a bit in the beginning, but afterwards, as time goes by, obviously the friendship starts to build, and then that's how you get to be good friends. So I hope that helps. Suman says, is there any university that are biased towards some Asian countries? Not that I know of. I know that they usually take in quite a balanced amount of people from around the world. So if you look at the Kgsp guidelines, they will write down like which country, how many people, like maybe like Singapore 3, Indonesia 10. Yeah, so they will usually try to spread them out equally. Yeah, so I hope that helps. If you're talking about them not accepting certain countries, that is when I say Kgsp guidelines will write down the whole list of countries that they are offering Kgsp to. So you will have to check that out. I can't really remember, but from what I remember, there were a lot of countries written there. So you have to check and see whether your country is on the list. So I hope that helps. Nuku says, how's the acceptance rate for a recently graduate engineer with 8.99 CGPA? I'm not sure about that, but if your GPA is considered high, then obviously you will have a higher chance of being accepted. But at the same time, I always say that it is not just about your CGPA. You will have to have a good statement of purpose. You need to have a good interview. There are a lot of factors that add up to it. So I can't give you a definite answer of yes, you're going to be getting it, So I hope that answers the question. Andrea says, right now I'm doing my BA in Chinese voice and literature. I also got a year's life over there. Okay. Hi Andrea. Are you new? Please remember to thumbs up this video. So yes, it's a good opportunity. I always recommend Kgsp to anyone that I meet who has an interest in Korea and hopes to study or live in Korea, because it gives you an opportunity to do a major in Korea. And if you're hoping to work here in Korea in the future, having a master's or a bachelor's in Korea is definitely going to be of some help. Yeah. So moving on. Darshini says, what are the job opportunities in Korea if we study global M&A in Korea University? You can work in global companies. You can work in Korean companies that are dealing with the global market. A lot of companies in Korea now, they are trying to look at and venture into global markets, like the makeup brand, the makeup industry, or like Samsung, Hyundai. There are a lot of businesses that are hoping to step out into the global market. So obviously they are going to be needing students who are niche in the area. So there are a lot of job opportunities that you can actually find. Yeah, so I hope that answers the question. Moving on, Trina says Yeonnam University College and Cheonnam National University. Is it good for international students? Hang on, let me ask. Yeonnam University, Cheonnam University. 국제 학생한테 좋아? 그럼 청남은? Okay, so from a Korean himself, he says that Yeonnam University College is number 2 in Daegu. And if you're asking if it's good for international students, 국제 학생한테는 좋을까? 사투리 때문에 되게 힘들 것 같은데, 그치? As what I've mentioned about Busan University, if you're looking at Daegu, Busan, I would always say that the dialect is something that is going to be very difficult for international students if you can't speak Korean. Even if you can speak Korean, the dialect might be so difficult to understand. And I think you might struggle. And at the same time, the whole conservative culture, you might face some issues with it as well. So I hope that helps. Moving on, ML Water says, can I apply general course through university track? Yes, of course. You can, you can definitely apply for like any general course through the university track. As long as it is available in the Kgsp guidelines, it is available. Trina says, thank you, my Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. I am so happy that you guys came. Please subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram because a lot of live updates are going to come up soon. Nuko says, thanks for, I'm more curious. Please hope learning Korean language isn't that tricky and getting opportunity later on isn't biased. Are you asking me a question? I don't really understand that, Nuko. Can you like type it again? TV watching says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. 新年快乐. Darshini says, thank you, you're welcome. BA Huang says, is there any downside with regards to the scholarship? I wouldn't say that there is any disadvantage to the scholarship. I think the scholarship is pretty good. If I would say it is maybe like the whole admin for this scholarship, it can be really slow at times in terms of NIIED, which is the National International Education Department. They usually are really slow when it comes to administrative stuff. But I would say that the scholarship is pretty good. I like it. I'm very thankful for it. So I wouldn't say that there's any downside to the scholarship. So yes, moving on. Suman says, wow, you have such a good Korean accent. We should speak Korean like you. Thank you. I'm still working on it. Obviously, I've been speaking it since I was 9. So it is very different. So, you know, if I've been doing it since I was 9. So I'm sure you guys can do better than me. ML Water says, what is your plan after you graduate? I am thinking of whether to go back to Singapore to work or work in Korea. It depends. It really depends on which companies want to hire me. I'm still waiting for me to graduate, for me to submit my application. But I'm open to working in both countries. So yep. Moving on, Sigil says, how much percentage do you require to apply for the undergraduate course? In the application guidelines, I think they mentioned that I think 85% and above, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure. You have to check with the guidelines or check with the embassy because it might vary like year, like every single year. So yes, I hope that answers the question. Is there any more question, anyone? You can ask me about like life in Korea, I don't know, please remember to thumbs up this video. Follow me on Instagram. Let me do some shameless plug, because a lot of life is going to come up soon, and I want you guys to be able to get hold of the news. So please go and follow me there on Instagram. Joe, I'm planning to submit passport copies for citizenship proof since notarization isn't needed. It is too expensive to go to the notary public. For union, it's from school. Yes, I actually submitted my passport copies for citizenship proof as well. Uni cert. Okay, then that is good because I submitted mine late because I didn't have my my certificate then. So if you have already your true copy, then but for the universities that you need to get 4 copies, remember, because they will need to submit each to each university. So 4 copies. So you need 4 copies of certified true copy. Yes, just a reminder. Yes, is there any other questions? Like, can ask me about life in Korea and stuff like that. Any more questions? How to find the embassy? Google, because usually if you Google like Korean embassy in India or like in Singapore, you would like pop up like where is your embassy. So go and check that out. Okay, my laundry is done. If you hear it behind in the background, that is the sound of Korean washing machines firsthand. Yes, so is there any other questions about Kgsp or life in Korea? Or feel free to leave me in what kind of videos you want me to do about Kgsp. Like leave them down here, what kind of content. ML Water, is it hard to adapt to winter season? You're from hot country Malaysia. Hi, I'm from Singapore, my neighboring country. It is cold, freezing cold. So currently in Korea now, it is winter. It is negative 12 degrees every single day. I am dying because I come from a very hot country and humid country. So it is very intense. But after a while, you do adapt to it. Like in the first few months of being here, I was dying. I was like wrapped up in my long padding, looking like a kimbap with like 5 layers of clothes underneath. I needed like ultra warm heat tech. Yeah, it's very cold here now, and it's the wind blows. Oh my god, yes. But after a while, you will kind of adapt to it, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I think our bodies are really interesting. They kind of like magically work. So yeah. Mohit says, can I get a good job in Korea doing masters in physics? Yes, as I mentioned, Korea is has a up and coming industry in science. So I'm sure you'll be able to get one. So just says, thanks for a kind reply. No problem. 4 copies. Thanks for no problem. Same. Is Korea good for mass comm? Is that mass comm? MCOM? I would say yes, because they do have a lot of like entertainment industries, like the TV broadcasting stations. So obviously, if you're hoping to go into that area, then it is good. But if you are talking about publicity, yeah, there are a few good companies here. KU is a good advertising company. So yes. Which course are you doing? I'm doing Korean studies. So I'm doing like everything related to Korea, like Korean history, Korean lifestyle, Korean politics, Korean pre-modern history, like everything that you can think of. Yes, I'm doing that. Mohit says, best job under MSc in physics in Korea. I can't really say what is the best job because I'm not in that field. Obviously, probably in like a pharmaceutical company. Yeah, but they have a few like what is it called? Like companies in the area that always hire people, so you can always check that out. Yes. So, any other questions, guys? What do you want me to talk about? Advice in Korea. Happy New Year. Do stay safe. Happy New Year to you too. I hope you guys are safe and healthy. Any more questions, my friends? please write down what you want me to do as future content for Kgsp. I'm hoping to do a video on Kgsp allowance. I'm hoping to do a video on housing, as I mentioned. I'm so hoping to do a Kgsp video on surviving in Korea. I'm also hoping to do a video on discrimination in Korea. I'm also hoping to do a video with my other Kgsp friends for them to share with you their experience. Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. ML Water says the allowance provided in K, does it enough to cover our daily life? So this allowance part, I'm going to be answering this in a future video of mine. So remember to subscribe to my channel, ML Water, because it is a very in-depth video that I will delve into. For me, it is enough. Okay, let me just tell you first, it is enough because I'm not the kind to do shopping. I'm not the kind to like eat out every day. I'm not the one. I don't really party. I don't party at all. Actually, I don't drink. So to me, it is enough. I'm able to save a lot of it. Actually, I would say I'm able to save maybe like 40 to 50% of the allowance because I don't use much. I don't spend. So it is enough. But I have other friends who struggle. So I will tell you like the different situation in an up and coming video. It's coming soon, filming it soon, writing my script now. So yes. Moving on. Happy New Year, 新年快乐. Yes, Happy New Year, 新年快乐. So BA Wang says, how is it like to study in Korea? Do you have any problems about your schedules? What do you mean about schedule, BA Huang? Like, what schedule are you talking about? Let me know. Studying in Korea is very interesting. I mean, it is a dream for me to study in Korea since I was 9. So, in some sense, my dream has come true. But it's good. It makes you work really hard. Makes you step up of your comfort zone. You present in Korean, you write theses in Korean, you write research papers in Korean, you write essays in Korean, and it's a very different experience. And I am very thankful for this Kgsp. So, yes. So moving on, Hui Sin Sarah asks, is it possible to do an undergraduate in chemistry with no Korean base background? I think. For Kgsp, as I mentioned, if you have no Korean background, obviously they will ask you to go through the whole 1 year of Korean study language course. So yes, so you don't have to worry about that. It is still possible, but you will have to make sure you get topic level 4 to be able to move on to your undergraduate studies. Remember to thumbs up this video. I think you are new here, Hui Xian. I've never seen your name on my live. Remember to thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram because a lot of interesting content is coming away. Moving on, Amy says, based on your experience and observation, what are the qualities the embassy are looking for in a Kgsp applicant? From all my friends, I would say all-rounder, not just like a bookworm. They tend to find people who are good at what they do in terms of studies, in terms of job experience. I think speaking well is a very important thing as well for them. So I think as long as you have a decent, but I think, hang on, let me like consolidate my thoughts. Okay, so I would say your personal statement is very important. Because that is your first impression. I mentioned it in my previous video. Go check that out. The video episode 1, I think, about episode 2 of the Kgsp series. Go and check that out. It is very specific. Your personal statement needs to be very eye-catching. What you want to research as well is going to be very important as well. So I hope that helps. Trina says, can you tell me which university is good for Korean language courses for undergraduate degree? I have a friend. I have a friend who is doing Korean language in Gyeonggi, I think. Is it Gyeonggi or Hongik? Yeah, they are doing Korean language courses there. So for Kgsp, you would do your language course in the rural regions. That is a Kgsp thing. So he will do it like at what? Daegu, Busan, Jeju. Yeah. Moving on, Mohit Yogi says minimum salary in Korea. I can't say what is the minimum salary because it differs by field. Obviously, engineering field, the minimum salary is going to be much higher. So yeah, I can't really say that for that. Barry Bubbles, is GMAT mandatory for MBA? Hi, Barry Bubbles. I think you are new. Very nice to meet you. Remember to thumbs up this video, subscribe. What is GMAT? Like, can you like explain more? Because I've never seen this word before. Yeah, leave it down below. ML Water says, within a period of Kgsp, can we go back to our home country during the semester break? Yes. For now, you can. There is a few regulations that you have to remember. Part of the regulation is that for, what is it called? For, you can only go back for a maximum of 90 days, but a maximum of 30 days if you do not want your allowance to be cut. So what happens is, for example, if you are going back home for like 35 days, they will cut 5 days of your allowance for the next month. So yeah, if you want to keep your allowance, you can only go there for around 30 days and come back. But if you're okay to like sacrifice the allowance, the maximum is 90 days. 90 or 60, yeah. But now with the pandemic, everything's a bit more complicated. So yeah. Moving on. Do we need to study Korean language course in our home country before you come to Korea? No. Korean language course is done in Korea. As I mentioned, it's done in the rural regions, which is like Busan, Daegu, Daejeon, Nonsan, Jeju, that area. So yes. what I mean schedule is about long school hours. How long is the school hours? Okay, it's okay. So for my school, for masters, we can only take a maximum of 4 classes per semester. A maximum of 4, which means I can squeeze my classes into 3 days. So usually it is around like from 9 to 12, and then 12 we have a break, and then 2 to 5. And then that is maybe for like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then for Thursday, there's just 1 class. So it's not like tedious, but at the same time, like there's quite a lot to do lah. So yep. Okay, so moving on. Barry Bubble says the graduate management admission test. What? Yes, I think there is a test for MBA, but I'm not sure. It really depends on the school that you are in. So you would have to check. Hang on, let me pour some water. I'm really thirsty now. So yes, you will have to check with the school. But from what I know, I do remember that there is an admission test. So yes. Aprita says, is provisional certificate enough? Because in my country, the degree certificate issued in 1 year, and this is my last year of degree. Provisional certificate. If hang on. If you're saying that your degree is being issued in 1 year's time, then you would obviously have to wait for it to be issued first before you apply, because they would need your degree certificate before you enter the school. So for example, if you're accepted, you're going to start school in March. So obviously you need to have your certificate before March, because if not, they are not going to accept you. So yep, Christian says, thank you for answering my question. I'm actually going to major in chemistry after 1 year of Korean language. I wonder if, okay, this is a very, very good question. I have a lot of friends who are doing the Korean language now, and that is their concern as well. I would say nothing is going to help like really you, because you have to realize that topic Korean is very different from major Korean. Because I'm sure chemistry has a lot of their own terms in Korean that it is not taught in the Korean language course, right? So obviously you are definitely going to have some issues, I would say. But I'm sure you'll do fine, because as long as you work hard, I'm sure you'll be fine. So you don't have to worry too much about it. So yes, I wish you all the best. Moving on, Mohit Yogi says minimum salary around US teachers. Teachers? I don't have any friends who are working as teachers though, like full-time teachers, no. So I can't really tell you like what is it. So moving on, Be Yourself asks, will they select you if you want to major in English? Yes, if you're looking at like English language and literature, um, then there are schools that have that. Sungkyunkwan University has that. SNU has that as well. So as long as you have a good research question in mind, they will select you. Moving on, B1 say, what is your current situation there in Korea? Are your classes affected by COVID? Yes. So my latest video is actually a video of a day in my life as a Kgsp student. Let me share with you the link. So this is the link, guys. My latest video. Please go and share some love. Thumbs up that video. Thumbs up this video. Because I've not been here in a while. And I think the YouTube algorithm is not helping to push my videos out. So please help me. I'm doing online classes every day. Obviously, my school has finally ended, but the situation here in Korea is not that great. As you guys know, it was in the beginning, it was like in February, it was like intense because of the cult. And afterwards, it went down and we all thought that it would be over. But when like the whole rules and regulations got relaxed, I think everyone went out again. And then there was a huge spike in like the past 2 to 3 weeks, which is why we are back to 2.5 level of social distancing. So it is tough and I'm really scared to go out. So all I do is stay around my neighborhood, feed my cats outside, like the stray cats. It's not that great. I think my final semester will be online again. I have like 3 semesters of online class. Oh my god. Yeah, so not that great to answer the question. Barry Bubble say, can we apply our participation certificate for add our participation? Yes, you can. Just as I mentioned in the earlier part of this live, write down whatever you think is going to be of some use because it is very important. You never know what they might find useful. So don't think that, oh, this might not be useful. I'm not going to include it. Okay, so write down whatever you have. Okay, moving on. Can you please explain the university track of the Kgsp? What do you mean? Like for Kgsp university track, you just have to submit your documents to the university. That's all. Yeah. Sejal says, can we give English proficiency test online from our city in our home country? No. For Kgsp, they only accept TOEFL, IELTS, IELTS, and what is the other one? TAPS, I think. Yeah, so you have to go and check that out. Amy asked, regarding notarized and apostille documents, is it preferable to have one set of notarized and apostille original for documents, I always say to have just another set. All of your 4 copies have to be notarized and apostilled. Yeah, you cannot have just original copies of the document and then the rest are just photocopies. You need to notarize all 4 of the copies. Yep, moving on. Mohit says minimum salary around US like teachers. As I mentioned, Mohit, I don't have friends who are teachers around me, so I can't really tell you because we're all still studying. Yeah. Sarim says, can you get GKS without research application? Of course. I didn't have any research application and I got it, so you don't have to worry about that. Ryujin says, is March 2021 your final semester? Yes. It is my final semester, so I hope if you are coming to Korea, I can meet you. It is my final semester, and unless I extend to write my thesis, which I'm still thinking about it, but it's very complicated in Kgsp because they don't really allow you to extend. So yeah, I would have to graduate by next year, I think. If not, I wouldn't get my flight ticket back home, I think. I don't know. I have to check. But yes. Are you coming soon? Hey, Sarah asked, can you suggest me applying for leave of absence at the moment because I'm supposed to fly this coming February. I'm actually from Brunei. I have a friend from Brunei. She's actually doing her language studies in Nonsan now. I met her a while back. She's also starting her school soon. She's finishing her language studies. Do you suggest? Leave of absence now is quite tricky for because of the pandemic. So you would have to check because they don't at a few I think that depending on the reasons they don't really allow people to take leave of absence. So you have to check with the NIIED. If you're flying this coming February, then it's tricky because what I'm afraid is that if Korea gets worse because of the new strain of COVID, I'm sure you guys are aware, there are a few, like in Korea, there's like 3 cases of the new like strains, the mutant thing. So I'm just worried that if that gets too intense here in Korea, they might stop flights. So then that might be an issue. So you will have to check. Sejal says, can you make a video on how to apply for the scholarship step by step? I have a video on that, Sejal. Please go and check that out. It is I have 2 videos on that. Go and check that out. It is episode 1 of the Kgsp series, and at the same time, I have one that is live. That is a 2-hour live stream, which I explained in very, very detailed Kgsp guidelines. So let me share that with you. I've left the link here. Go and check that out. What's the other one? Let me find it. Where is it? Okay, so here you go. This is the list. Okay, so next, moving on. Thank you for your reply. You're welcome, Aprita. I hope it helps. 감사합니다. 안녕. 별 말씀은요. 조류진 says, I plan to apply for KG in February 2025. I can only come when you're leaving unless you remain in Korea. Maybe if I'm working in Korea, we can meet. I hope you get it. I'm praying for you. I hope you get it. In February, when the guidelines come out, I'm going to do another live in particular for that. So come join me. I will go and look through the guidelines and note down what is the important points, and I will share it with you guys. So yes, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Barry Bubble says, can we apply for 3 majors in the same university? Yes. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. I didn't, but I applied for 3 different universities. But if you're really hoping to enter that one university, you can do that. Bang says, give us some to-do list before coming to Korea. Great, that is going to be on my videos, upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Subscribe, thumbs up this video. Pomi 방탄소년단. Wow, we have an army here. I'm an army too. Can I take physics and astronomy as my major at SNU but English version? I don't think so, because in SNU, the only courses that are in English are under the GSIS, which is where I'm in. So you would have to check, unless they might have a few courses in English, but I would say 90% of the courses are probably in Korean. Yes. Moving on, Shrestha says, do undergrad students have to write the study plan? I don't think so. For the graduate students, you will have to, but if I remember correctly, I don't think undergraduate students need to, but check with your embassy, because the Korean embassy is the one who will be looking through your documents, so it's very important to check. It'll be great to meet you while you're still in Korea. Thank you again. You're welcome. I would love to meet you as well. I hope you get it. Wait, you have it ready, right? Yeah. So I hope to see you. If you're in Seoul, let me know. Trina says, in the university track, they not provide SNU. So can you tell me Busan National University? If you're hoping to go through university through track, then Busan National University of Foreign Studies. 부산 National University 좋아? 20등? 20등? 그럼 한국어 같은 그런 수업 괜찮아? Okay. So as I mentioned about Busan universities, you need to remember that dialect is going to be an issue. Um, I mean, they are around like they are placed in around 20 in the whole university ranking in Korea. So yeah, I hope that helps. Yes, stay tuned. Sejal says, when do we have to apply for masters? You have to apply in around February. Yes, February. Yes, February. Because you would come in September. Yes. Moving on, Sarista says, thank you for replying to every single one for querying. Not many KGSP YouTubers reply to every individual. You're welcome. This is what I do. So feel free to leave me any questions. I'm really happy that you guys find it useful. I've received a lot of comments and like messages telling me that some of my subscribers got into the scholarship, and I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy for all of you. Yes, so I'm praying that all of you get it so I can like have like a mini meetup with all of you. Moving on, Carl says, how long are school breaks or semester breaks in Korea? Usually 2 months. So in the spring semester, it is from March to July, and then June, and then July and August is the break, and then afterwards in September to December, and then you have a break in January, February. So it's my semester break now, so I'm going to be filming a lot more videos for you guys. So subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Jokopai. A lot of very interesting contents coming up. Can I apply with English proficiency certificate? Yes. If you have a TOEFL or like TOEIC, it will also give you an advantage as well. So moving on, does KGSP have age requirements? Do you have some teenager friends? I just know that you can't be too old, I think, from what I know. Teenager friends. For those who are going to the undergraduate, yeah, they're probably around 18, 19. Yeah. Question says, I got stationed in Daegu University as my Korean language institute, but I'll be doing my major in Korea University. So I'm not sure if I'll be in Seoul this year. Oh, my boyfriend is studying in Korea University as well. He's doing his master's there. So yeah, good. Are you doing your Korean language studies now still? How long do you have left? When are you going to start your major in Korea U? Let me know. Shrista says, for undergrad students, when should they apply? For undergrad, you need to apply in August, I think. Yeah, August. Because school will start for you in March. Yeah. Moving on, Emma Water says, if I choose 3 different majors, do you think it will bring trouble in writing study plan or statement of purpose? Does it give an image that I'm not sure about? Oh, that is a very, very good question. Very good question. I would suggest you to, like, if you are looking at 3 different majors, find 3 majors that are quite similar to each other, like maybe Korean studies, Korean language and literature, or like teaching Korean as a foreign language. Because after all, if you're going to be writing your study plan and statement of purpose, it is good to be in a similar field. What you say is true. It might give them an image of what. Oh, hi, Ritz. You have a friend from Brunei, by the way. Hui Xian is from Brunei as well. So Hui Xian, I mentioned that I have a friend from Brunei. Fraser is from Brunei. Happy New Year! Yeah. So again, I would always recommend you, if you are writing different majors, I highly recommend you to write like different majors of similar field, like maybe in the sciences, maybe like something related to each other. So it is always easier to write your statement of purpose in that sense. But if you are hoping to go into 3 different fields, then I would highly recommend you to, for your statement plan, statement of purpose and study plan, you need to touch on all 3 majors. So yes, I hope that answers the question. How to give English proficiency test? You will have to take TOEIC, TOEIC, IELTS, or TEPS, and then submit the scores to them. Hui Xian says, hey, I'm doing my language program this coming February, so I'm probably be doing my major next year, 2022. Very exciting. I hope the pandemic is over so that you can at least have some classes face-to-face and not just online classes. It sounds really exciting. So moving on, is there any more questions regarding KGSP? Can we send our photocopied certificates for applying scholarships? Yes. So if you're talking about like awards, of course, but if you're talking about graduation certificate, you need to get them not like notarized by the notary public, or yeah. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Is there any more questions from you guys? Remember to thumbs up this video, please. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram because a lot of exciting videos are coming. Please make videos about Korean language learning. I'm trying to learn the language through YouTube. So please make some videos for beginners. It really helps us. Are you guys interested? That is on my list. I'm going to be doing a lot of KGSP videos, and I'm actually doing with this is my channel, and we are actually building a new channel for my boyfriend who is a Korean. He's doing his master's in teaching Korean as a foreign language to foreigners. So obviously he is more experienced than me in that sense. So we are working on content for you guys. So we are thinking of how we are going to do it. Maybe record it or maybe do it via live. Yeah. So we are still thinking about it, but it is coming. So stay tuned, Apita. Subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram because a lot of updates are done there. Isa says, please do the KGSP Scholar for 2022. I mean, for next year. I will definitely do it. I will do the graduate one first because the graduate one is going to start in February, and then in August, the undergraduate one is going to start. So I'm going to do it every time. So don't worry. And afterwards, I'm always going to have live sessions for you guys to ask me questions about it, because I know how annoying it is when there's no one to really help. Because when I applied during my year, not a lot of people knew about KGSP, and there were no YouTube videos about KGSP in general. So I know how it feels to have your life like stake on that, and I'm here to answer your questions. A lot. I don't really reply my DMs that often because I don't check my DMs. So if you guys have any question, always just leave it in my KGSP videos comments, because I always check my YouTube to make sure that I reply to your comments. So just leave them there. And if I don't leave them there, just spam, because I will like reply unless I have some technical issues. But if there's something like that, I will say it on my Instagram. So follow my Instagram for like more details, okay? Keep continuing. Thank you so much for everything. Happy New Year. Be safe. Thank you for answering all my questions. You're doing a great job. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I'm still a very baby YouTuber. I hope I'm of some help. BA Huang says, can we apply for the scholarship even if we are currently studying in an undergrad? Yes, of course. If you're talking about you're hoping to pursue your master's degree, you can apply in your final semester in undergrad. Yes. Be safe. Yes, be safe too. Barry Bubbles says, keep continuing. I will. Thank you. As long as you guys are here, I will keep doing it. So please show my latest video some love. I really spent a lot of time editing it. So please help me like, thumbs up, comment. Actually, what the interviewers want to know about family background for them is what type of things should I mention, like what my parents do or how they help my study. No, they just need to know whether they are your birth parents, what is the nationality. Because for KGSP, like they have a whole list of countries that are eligible, right? They need your parents to be of that nationality as well. So for example, if I'm from Singapore, I'm eligible, but I need my parents to be Singaporeans as well for me to be eligible. So that is why they need your documents. I hope that helps. Trina, love from India. Thank you. I have a lot of subscribers from India. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. Sejal says, can we apply for scholarship meet of graduation? Yes, as long as you graduate before you start school here in Korea. Yes. Apita says, thank you so much. Porae. Shira says, how much time does it take to reach topic level 2 or 3? I would say maybe a year of like intense studying, because that is what the language program is aiming to do here in Korea. I have friends who because the maximum length of the whole language program is 1 year, right? So usually by then you're expected to have a minimum of topic level 3. If not, you're being sent back to your home country. Yeah. The difference between embassy and university track. So as I mentioned, ESA. So embassy is more fuss-free in the sense that you don't have to worry about your documents being lost, and you have to go through the interviews with the embassy first, and they will choose the final 3 or 4 candidates, and they will tell you, and then they will arrange everything for you. Via the university track, it can be more complicated, so it really depends on what you want. Yeah, so I hope that helps. Love and support from India. Thank you, Apita. It means a lot. MY Water says, thank you for your time answering my question. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too as well. Stay safe, stay healthy. Isa says, does the scholarship support you until you graduate? Yes, it supports you until you graduate. Everything is paid for. You're given allowance. I will do a separate video on allowance, so stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Janato says, I got the scholarship this year as an undergraduate student, and if I want to apply for exchange program in future, can I apply like while I'm studying in Korea? For Kgsp, what I know is that you are not allowed to go for exchange program. Yeah, that is maybe that's the only downside, I would say. So you will have to check. I'm not sure. Some schools might be different. Congrats on getting the scholarship. You must have worked really hard for it. Your videos are really helpful. Thank you. It means a lot. It means a lot when I have subscribers coming up to me telling me that my videos helped them get the scholarship. Well done. Congrats. From what I know, you can't apply for exchange, but you have to check with your school itself because it might be different from school to school. Promi says, you are so sweet, only keep safe, for I love from Bangladesh. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Remember to follow me on my Instagram because that is where all my latest updates are at, and when I'm going to have my live. Follow me on my Instagram, subscribe to my channel. Moving on, if I have got the undergrad scholarship, can I also apply for the grad? Yes, of course. For Kgsp, I think they give you more advantage when you are undergrad scholarship if you want to do your postgrad. A970 안녕하세요. 잘 지내셨어요? 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 안녕하세요. 너무 오랜만이죠. 제가 요새 너무 바빠서 최근 방학 때문에 드디어 다시 시간이 있어서 라이브 켰어요. 잘 지내셨어요? 지금 2021년인데 지금 코로나 때문에 다들 되게 힘드실 것 같은데 건강하시죠? 건강 잘 챙기시고 더 많은 영상 찾아오겠습니다. Ryan says, Shanna Moon, may I ask where you are from? Ian tells you, I'm preparing for this scholarship and your video does help. Really, thanks so much for your time and effort. Happy New Year. Thank you for your support. I will do my best to bring more exciting content, so remember to subscribe. BA Wang says, do you experience culture shock? Everyone is asking technical questions, so I'm going to ask about living in Korea. Good question. So culture shock, not really in Seoul, because Seoul, they are very open to foreigners now. But if you're talking about maybe going to like the rural areas, obviously you get culture shocks, like maybe food or the people. But so far, not much, because obviously I'm from an Asian country, so it is rather similar. But culture shocks, not really actually. It is rather all right. Living in Korea is really interesting. I'm going to do another whole video on that. So write down what you want to know. Bie Huang or Ba Huang. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, so Isa says, does it help you with the path after you graduate, like for a job? Yes, like scholarship definitely helps if you're hoping to stay in Korea and work in Korea, because having a degree from Korea, that definitely helps, I would say. Sujal says, I have to apply for scholarship last year of graduation, right? Yes. Sharissa says, your Korean pronunciation is really good. Wow. Thank you. I'm still working on it. Apita says, I want to do my master's in economics. So do you know which university is best? Obviously, SNU. SNU is #1 in Korea, or Yonsei or Korea U. So Go and check that out. Kgsp 코로나 빨리 사라졌으면 좋겠어요. 제가 물어보고 싶은 것은 뭐냐면요. 제가 교환학생으로 다녀왔는데 혹시 제가 GKS 석사 과정으로 신청이 가능하는지. 제가 이미 학사 과정을 마쳤는데 그래서 다시 학사 과정을 공부해야 하지. 만약에 지금 이미 학사 졸업을 하셨으면 사실 KGSP 무조건 석사밖에 신청 못할 것 같아요. 왜냐면 그 가이드라인에서 보시면 거기 조항 하나 있거든요. 조항 거기서 이렇게 얘기한 것 같아요. 만약에 이 학생이 이미 졸업장 하나 있으면 다시 학사 할 수 없대요. 그래서 만약에 지금 이미 학사 졸업을 이미 했으면 아마 안 될 것 같아요. 그래서 제가 봤을 때 석사 과정 해야 될 것 같아요. 네, 그래서 한번 확인하시고요. 아마 석사밖에 못할 것 같아요. 네, 도움이 좀 됐었으면 좋겠어요. 건강하시죠? 지금 요새 코로나 때문에. Can I do a second MBA program after doing MBA in my home country? No, I don't think so. Unless you are going to pursue like a higher degree, like if you did your bachelor's degree and now you're going on to master's degree, yes, you can. Remember, thumbs up, 여러분. Thumbs up, please. Subscribe. Follow my Instagram. Can I apply for scholarship in 1 or 2 years of graduation? Yeah, you can if you are graduating like. As in, are you saying that you want to apply 2 years before you graduate? Then that is not possible because you need to have the graduation certificate in time. Sarisa says, is the dorm expenses included in the scholarship as well? No, this is the issue that I want to talk about in my future video about allowance. The dorm expenses is not included, so you will have to pay your dorm expense from your allowance. So which is why some people might feel that the allowance is not enough. So I'm going to be doing a separate video on that, on allowance of Kgsp. So subscribe, Sarisa, thumbs up. But Huang says, what is one difference between education in your hometown and education in Korea? Okay, so for those of you who are new, I'm from Singapore. And if you know Singapore, Singapore is a country with a very competitive education system. And to be fair, Korea's education system is very competitive as well. So it is rather similar, but I would say Korea's education system, I would personally say it is more competitive in the sense that there is a lot more people here. So obviously the talent pool is going to be much bigger. So that means that I have to like compete with more people who are like super talented. And that is going to be, that's one issue. And of course, I would say, other than that, it is rather similar. It's just, it's intense. You have to do quite a lot. You have assignments to submit. You have to do like tests. The workload is quite intense. You have a lot of readings. Yeah, it's rather similar. But if I'm going to be talking about difference, then it is more competitive here in Korea, I think. Peter says, yes, it really helps if you make videos about Korean language. Stay tuned. Subscribe, as I mentioned. Follow my Instagram, Peter, because updates will be there. Joko Pie, okay? Follow my Instagram, guys. This is my Instagram. Follow me there because a lot of updates are going to be posted there. Moving on. 제가 4급을 땄는데 석사 과정이 부족하다고 들었거든요. 만약 외국인 자아 프로그램을 신청하게 통과되면 어학을 다녀야 되죠. 네. 만약에 4급을 땄으면 그 선택권 있는 것 같아요. 제 친구 한 명이 4급을 땄는데 결국 원래 바로 석사를 시작할 수 있었는데 그 친구가 어학당을 다니고 싶어서 결국 석사 미루고 1년 동안 어학당을 다녔어요. You're having so much. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I hope that it was of some help. 구치디에님 논문 작성하기 시작하셨어요? 아니요. 논문 계획서를 썼는데 근데 지금 주제가 이미 정해졌는데 사람들이 구하는 게 좀 힘들 것 같아서 제가 봤을 때 좀 고쳐야 될 것 같아요. 그래서 이번 방학 때 제대로 다시 시작하려고요. Is there any more questions? Anybody? I'm going to. This is my Instagram, everyone. Please follow me over there because a lot of live Q&A sessions, dates, time is going to be up there. New channel is going to come up really soon. New exciting videos are going to be coming. So please remember to subscribe, follow me on Instagram. 이번엔 논문이 잘 통과했으면 좋겠어요. 너무 감사해요. 제가 지금 되게 고민이 되는데 그래서 지금 그 KGSP 신청하셨나요? 구치지혜님? BA Huang, how can you stay in touch with your family and friends at hometown? I usually just contact them via like Instagram or video calls. Basically, just texting, video calls, just like, saying, how are you? Happy New Year. I hope you're doing fine. That's my only way. And I usually just FaceTime my family like every single day because I miss them so much. So yeah, I hope that helps. Follow me on my Instagram. Can I ask you my question in future? If there's yes, of course, Sijov. You can just leave your question in any of my KGSP videos, comment, and I will just reply them ASAP because I usually tend to reply to my YouTube comments much faster than my DMs because I don't really see my DMs on my Instagram. But just feel free to drop me any questions and I'll reply to you ASAP. So yes. So Instagram, guys, go and follow me there at Jokopie. JOCCOPIE. Okay, Jokopie. And also please thumbs up this video if you have not already done so. And my latest video, please go and check it out. 여러분, 제가 최근에 올렸던 영상 KGSP의 하루 한번 응원 부탁드립니다. 좋아요도 부탁드리고요. 구독도 부탁드립니다. 그리고 인스타그램도 팔로우 부탁드립니다. 제가 원래 이번에 석사 과정으로 신청하려고 그랬는데 경제적으로 좀 부담이 되기 때문에 2021년에 신청하려고요. 한국 가면 돈이 필요하니까. 내가 이해하죠. 왜냐면 지금 코로나 때문에도 많이 힘드실 것 같고. 네, 만약에 문제 있으시면 언제든지 댓글 달아주시면 제가 바로 답변해 드리겠습니다. 만약에 인스타그램 있으시면 제 인스타그램 팔로우 하시고요. 거기 항상 새로운 announcement, 공고 같은 거 있고 언제 라이브 할 건지 아니면 새로운 영상 올렸는지 이런 공고 있기 때문에 인스타그램 팔로우 꼭 부탁드릴게요. What was the public transportation like? In Korea, I usually just take the subway, the train, and obviously they have buses as well. So I take the train to Seoul National University train station, and I take a bus to get to school. So it's really complicated. Yes, I'm going to do a school tour next time. Any one of you interested in a school tour? I have a few universities on my list. I'm going to bring you guys to go and check out the dorms in the schools and also school tour as well. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, press that notification bell, thumbs up. Any more questions? If not, I'm going to end my live here. School tour, yes. Are you applying to SNU, Regine? I will apply after 4 years because I have to complete my graduation in India. All the best, 시죠? 제가 지인들에게 코코파이면? 코코파이 아니고요. 제가 조코파이예요. 공유하고 있어요. 너무 감사해요. 공유해 주셔서. 제가 요새 너무 바빠서 영상 자주 못 올렸는데 그것 때문에 유튜브 그 자체가 제 영상들이 추천 안 해주셔서 그래서 뷰도 제대로 안 나오니까 한번 도와주세요. 많이 홍보해 주시고요. 그 새로운 영상 꾸준히 올릴 거니까 한번 부탁드립니다. Thank you for your answers, Joe. It really helps. Thank you for coming in. I know it's late. Happy New Year to all of you. See you guys really, really soon. Subscribe, like, press the notification bell. Any more questions? If not, I'm going to be ending my live here. Thank you guys for coming. It really helps. Thank you guys. And I'll be back with more interesting videos. A live coming up really soon as well for all of you. Sana, hi. You are here when I'm going to end. Any question, please feel free to ask. I'm going to give maybe a few more minutes. Afrin says, if I am applying in my last year of graduate Kgsp scholarship, then how can I send my grades of my final year? I would suggest you to I applied in my final semester, so I had most of my semesters. But if you're worried, then I would suggest you to check with the embassy, because they would tell you whether it is all right or whether it's not. They might advise you to apply after it. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Sana says, I'm sorry. It's okay. If you have any questions, Sana, just leave it here. I'm going to reply to you before I end the live, okay? So, 한국말 되게 잘하시고 들을 때마다 진짜 한국인지 외국인지 그 말도 안 되더라고요. 혹시 비결이 뭔가요? 저도 초코파 아니에요. 초코파이에요. 제 이름이 조이기 때문에 초코파이에요. 잘하고 싶어. 지금 엄청 잘하시거든요. 지금 그 한국어를 보니까 되게 잘하시고요. 비결 같은 경우에는 제가 봤을 때 그냥 자주 말해야 돼요. 제가 어릴 때부터 되게 뻔뻔했거든요. 그냥 쏘리 괜찮아요. 농담이에요. 제가 옛날에 그냥 혼자 배울 때 되게 뻔뻔했고, 그 한국인 보면 무조건 먼저 한국어로 말을 걸었거든요. 틀렸는지 아니면 그냥 맞는지도 상관없고, 틀려도 제가 그냥 되게 당당하게 얘기했기 때문에 되게 도움이 된 것 같아요. 그래서 계속 연습하다 보니까 그 억양도 조금 더 바꾸고 한국인들한테 얘기하다 보니까 너무 좋은 거예요. 왜냐면 한국인들이랑 얘기하다 보니까 저도 그 한국인들처럼 따라하고, 그런 어떤 식으로 그 억양을 해야 되는지, 어디서 올라가야 되는지 내려가는지, 그 톤 있잖아요. 톤. 이런 거 되게 중요한 것 같아요. 한국어 할 때. 그래서 이렇게 한국인이 있으면 무조건 한국어로 얘기하는 것을 추천드려요. 그거 진짜 도움이 되거든요. Thank you so much for this live. No problem. I pretend you speak fluent Korean. I do. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on that. Trust me. 문제가 없어요. 지금 정말 고마워요. 감사합니다. 다행이네요. 비애황. Okay, this is my last question since it's almost midnight. What was the hardest adjustment you had to make? I would say being away from family, because I'm a very family-oriented person. I'm really close with my family. I have 2 beautiful niece and nephew who I love a lot, and I had to leave them when they were born, maybe 8 months. So I was really sad when I had to leave them, because I missed the whole process of them growing up. And of course, being away from my family is difficult, but at the same time, I'm counting my blessings to be here. And of course, I have great friends here who have been supporting me through the entire way. And it's good with technology because I can call my family whenever I feel like it. So it is very, I think that is the largest adjustment. And I would say coming to a foreign land and trying to integrate, it is not the easiest, but I'm making some progress, I would say. And of course, with you guys here with me, it does help with my loneliness, because I'm interacting with people, you get what I mean? Because with Corona, it gets quite lonely because we are all stuck at home. You get depressed, I get depressed. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Thank you for coming to my live, 비애황. 너무 감사합니다. 다음에 라이브 방송 언제 올리실 생각이세요? A97D님, 인스타그램 있으세요? 제가 항상 인스타에서 언제 라이브 할 건지 다 얘기하거든요. 여기 만약에 인스타그램 있으시면 여기 제 인스타그램 이름이거든요. 여기서 팔로우 하면 제가 항상 그 인스타그램 스토리에 제가 여기 이 날짜에 이 시간에 라이브 할 것이다 이렇게 적고, 그래서 여기 있는 분들도 그거 보면서 들어온 것 같아요. 그래서 만약에 인스타그램 있으시면 거기서 팔로우하면 될 것 같습니다. 아니면 거기. 네. So thank you for the money. You're welcome. So any final questions? If not, I'm going to be ending my live here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Neha Abbas, I just replied to that. So scroll back 2 minutes before. BA Huang actually just asked this question. So I mentioned that it's being away from my family. So if you want to hear the entire explanation, scroll back to maybe like 1 minute before, and that is where it will appear. So thank you for coming to my live, everyone. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope 2021 would be a much better year for all of you. And I'm going to be coming back with much better content for you guys. Hi, Jolene, you are here. Congrats, Jolene, on getting a scholarship. Yay! So I'm going to be doing more videos for you guys as well on Kgsp. Obviously, I'm trying to do some adjustments. I'm not going to put as much subtitles because I'm not sure if it's going to be useful for people. If I want to make it like quick, I will usually just have to do it without subtitles. I'm going to think about that. Let me know. Thank you for coming. I hope 2021 will be a better year for all of you. Stay healthy. And please, let's pray for this pandemic to be over. I hope you guys are all safe. Hi, Joe. I'm Karen from Indonesia. What track do you take in your embassy? I took the embassy track. I hope that helps. So, y'all, I'm going to have another live soon. So follow my Instagram for further details. I'm going to leave my Instagram handle for you guys here. Follow me on Instagram because that is where I have my updates on when I'm doing my live, when I'm having my new videos. And yes, thank you for coming to my live, everyone. Let's pray for 2021 to be a much better year. And let's grow together. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you and good night, everyone. Bye.